What did your first recording setup look like back then? Or what was the first studio you recorded at when you started?
Um, the first recorded, the recording I recorded was in a closet, and the budget for that closet was about $35 an hour. You know, it wasn't where where I am today. So I appreciate everything that I'm given and that I learned from the time when I started. But it definitely wasn't what I see now and with the studios where I go and record now. So definitely wasn't that.
Okay, let's start with the before and the after. When it comes to the before, was this someone's home studio?
Yeah, it was definitely a home studio. It was a home studio slash bedroom slash their closet, like with their clothes in it, you know? So, like, it was just patterned the right way, and it was just well put up and well prepared for artists to come and record. So, but now it's the room is like, I think too big, but that's just the levels to it, you know? So,
Let's talk about the initial closet, though. What led to that particular studio back then?
man.
Why that one at that time in your life?
Honestly, it was what I could afford then. It was all I could afford. $35 an hour. Uh, I was what in the ninth grade, 10th grade, chasing my dream. You know, I didn't have X amount of dollars to just go spend on big studios. So I had to just work with what I had, and that was that $35 studio. So, and that's what I stuck with at that time, and I appreciate it because I never like talk down on a low scale, a low balling studio. Not saying that was low scale, low balling, but you know, like it's like I say, it's just levels to it.
Care to share the name of this studio back then?
Honestly, I don't even remember the name. It like because it was a house. It was the bedroom studio, that type of vibe. Like you know, like my man's had a laptop and a mic, put it up in his closet with his clothes and his shoes. You know, so it really didn't have a name. I mean, it had an address and a mailing address type, but it ain't have no name.
Did the closet have a smell to it?
No, he ain't have no smell. He kept it real nice, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't the only artist that came. It was multiple artists that came that he trusted because it was his home, a place where he stayed, but it was well kept up.
Do you remember the type of equipment, like the type of laptop it was at the time, the software, the microphone, by any chance?
We was definitely running off of Pro Tools. It wasn't 10 or 12, it wasn't none of those, but it was Pro Tools. The mic, I definitely don't remember. It was probably some mic from Sam Ash or something that we just or offer up Facebook or something we had and got together. But the equipment, it wasn't definitely like what I'm working with today. But yeah, it was something, man.
Now, what high school also were you attending at that time, if you could remember?
See, I attended two high schools at that same time when I was going to my man's recording studio. One of them was Miami Carol City Senior High, and the other was HML Hialeah Miami Lakes.
And why two different schools at that time?
Well, I wasn't who I am today. Let's just say that I was a problem. I was and now when I say problem, it was more like behavior. So I got kicked out of high school. You know, bad decisions and choices that I made back then. But I got it together, and that led me to go to another high school, which was Hialeah Miami Lakes, and But what I learned from that was popularity and meeting new people. Like I met a lot of people that did music, football, track, everything. Like that popularity just stayed with me and stuck with me. So
Now, in ninth grade, about the time you go to the closet, the house studio,
yeah,
the home studio with the closet,
right, right.
was that when music started for you, or did it start even earlier than that?
No, I started earlier than that. It started earlier than that. I was always into music. You know, um, I was just trying to find the lane, like The lane was the hard part for me because it was the rapping, the producer, the singing, like the engineering. I didn't know what lane I didn't want to like be in because I was like talented in all. But now I just like meshed them all together and like it just happened on its own as you kept going. It created the creator. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm here now. I am Rich Prince. You know, like the rapper, singer, slash producer.
Why'd you drop the others?
I mean, I won't say I dropped the others, but I mean, I just gotta get to the next level with the others, you know, before I could take the all the load with me. I didn't drop them. It's just certain things got to be a priority right now. That's all.
Why these elements here for you a priority compared to the others?
Because one, it's a passion. It's a passion for me. You know what I'm saying? Music is my dream. I won't stop until I get where I want to go, and helping others is another passion of mine. So that's why I created VMC, Visionary Music Creators, the CEO, founder of that. And yeah, I mean, 2022 is going to be a great year. I believe I'm talking in existence. So yeah,
And for time reference, it's November 2021 now.
right.
Now, this first studio that you mentioned here, just for clarification, was this your first recording? Um, w- Let me ask you this. Was this the first song you ever recorded in your life? Was at this particular studio?
Yeah, it actually was. It was the first song. Um, by surprise, actually, I was in a group. I was in a group actually, and not song, but album, singles, all type of projects came out of this house. So it was just full throttle, you know, until we got to the next level. So
Now, I want to dissect some more elements based on this conversation. Which school were you expelled at?
I was expelled from Miami, Carol City,
And what was
senior high.
and what was the reason exactly for the expulsion?
Uh, the reason for
Was there a specific reason?
yeah, I got into a fight, and the fight just broke out to be like a fight that, let's just say, upper management didn't approve of. Suspension wasn't the last thing, so it was for me. It was expelled.
Now, prior to the expulsion, were there warnings? Were there suspensions that you had received prior to, or was this a zero tolerance thing? This was a one and done type of scenario.
Nah, it was a one and done type of thing. You know, like I ain't a problem guy. Back then, I maybe was, but I'm not a problem guy then. I mean now. So, but then, yeah, it was a one type of thing. Sent me to a school, got my act right because outside of behavior, I played sports. Uh, so it was like, in order to do this, you gotta do this, and that was like have my grades to a average where I could be able to play sports. You know what I'm saying?
And this fight, was it a fight you initiate or you were just defending yourself in?
Yeah, I was just defending myself. I was just defending myself.
So even though you were defending yourself, you still get expelled?
I mean, yeah, yeah. That's just the rules back then, right?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah, that's the rules back then.
The other people involved in the fight, were they expelled too?
Yeah, it was new. It wasn't just me. It was
Okay.
more than 5 people. Yeah, so
All right. You get expelled. You go to the other school. How far did you end up going with your education?
I went to college. Some college. I went to Full Sail. I went to SAE. I went to Florida Memorial University, and I studied at all these colleges. I studied music business. That was my major. So that's the furthest I went with my education.
And are you still enrolled in any of these schools?
No, I'm not enrolled in any of them right now. Like that was about 3 years ago. I stopped.
Why'd you stop?
Uh, No reason. I really can't answer that question. That's not a. It's no reason for stopping. You know. So I can't answer why I stopped.
Now, these were 3 different schools. Was that the actual order you attend that you gave us?
Um,
Because you said Full Sail, SAE, and then you said another school. Was that the actual order of the schools you
nah,
went to?
it's actually backwards. It's actually FMU, Florida Memorial University. I went there first, and then I went to SAE, and then I went to
Full
Full
Sail.
Sail out in Orlando.
And how much of each do you get under your belt, and why do you transition into the next school?
I think I got a lot of knowledge. Honestly, I mean, it helped me be very knowledgeable in this music business. What I'm chasing today, you know, I put a lot of time and education to figure it out. And not saying that I figured it out, but I know that I know a lot about the music business behind the scenes besides just being an artist.
Now, I don't know if you mind getting in detail, but when it came to Florida Memorial,
Right.
do you get a semester done, 2 semesters, a full year, 2 years?
I got a year done.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a year done. Transferred over to SAE.
What was the reason for the transfer at that time?
SAE was just more hands-on with music. It was just more direct, like not knocking FMU. I mean that's a HBCU, but SAE was just more like I say, direct, hands-on. Let's just get straight to it and teach me what I want to know.
SAE, how much do you get under your belt? Semester, 2 semesters, full year, 2 years?
I got about 2 semesters, 2 to 3 semesters from SAE.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then you transfer one more time to Full Sail?
Full Sail, and that's when I went crazy.
What was the reason for the transfer at that school?
I mean, SAE. Once you start to learn, you want to know more. You know, like they just opened my eye to more, and when I seen Full Sail, it was like, all right, and here go more again. So I just wanted to like enhance my career with a better resource, and Full Sail at the time was definitely a better resource for me. So I took that go, went.
And then how much of Full Sail do you get under your belt there? Semester, 2 semesters?
I did what 2 semesters, 2 semesters, and definitely like learned a lot while I was there, and I won't take that back, you know.
Now, somebody watching this may be wondering, is SAE and
Right.
Full Sail the same type of thing or no?
It's the same type of thing, but I would say resources is just separates the difference, you know, like resources. Uh, it's like Fila and Nike. Like both of them popular, but I mean Nike just a bigger brand, and that's what I mean by Full Sail. It was just a bigger known school, so that's why I took that resource.
Now, because you went to 3 different schools to
Right.
further your education, do you have some sort of degree or credits for some sort of degree at
Oh
this
yeah,
point?
yeah, music business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Music
is that
business.
is that a associate's? Is that a
Associ-
bachelor's?
Yeah, associates.
Okay.
Yeah, associates.
And you get the associates after attending Full Sail, or did you have the associates prior to Full Sail?
Nah, I had it prior. Because I took some of those classes with me. Some of those, I finished some of those semesters, and some of those credits they stayed with me. So that's how I got through so fast and got to where I was at with the associates at Full Sail.
So when do you consider yourself having the associates? After SAE? Before Full Sail?
Yeah. Before Full Sail at SAE.
Okay. So when you go to Full Sail, if you would have kept going with it all the way, you would have gotten a bachelor's?
Probably got more than that.
Okay. A
Yeah.
master's?
Masters, yeah, definitely that. Definitely that.
Now, I know you didn't get a chance to complete that
Right.
program, so
Right.
to speak, and get that degree yet. But
Right.
just your experience at SAE and just your experience at Full Sail, somebody may be wondering, which one did you like better? Are you able to give us the comparison and contrast between the two that you got a chance to experience somewhat? The pros and the cons maybe of each school, just for somebody considering both.
Yeah, I won't highlight a better because it's all what floats your boat. You know, some people might like small rooms and some might like bigger rooms. Some might like intimacy and some might like way bigger classes. So I won't say which one is better, but I definitely say Full Sail has better resources. You know, so like that's all I'll say on like what is better.
Now, if you could change back the hands of time, if you
Right.
could do things over again,
Uh,
would you have bypassed the HBCU school? Would you have bypassed SAE? Would you have went straight to Full Sail from the jump? Or are you glad you got each under your belt? Or maybe you glad you got the HBCU, wish you didn't go to SAE, went
right.
straight to Full Sail. You get what I'm trying to say here?
Right. I get what you're saying, but I'm actually happy for the way that it went. You know, like it's part of my story. It's part of who I am. You know, like my trials and tribulations, my popularity, all the people that I met. You know, if I went to one school, I probably would have had one fan base out in one area. Or not saying I would have, but me going to multiple schools helped that my fan base, like with me knowing that I do music because I was always out promoting that, letting them know I do music.
Now, in your career where you're at this point,
Right.
could you have gotten to where you're at without attending any of those schools? The HBCU, SAE, Full Sail. If you didn't go to any of that, could you gotten to where you're at currently, where you're at in your career at this point?
Definitely. Definitely. I believe I would could have got here probably sooner, maybe later. But I definitely believe without school, I could still get to the same level where I'm at today.
Was it a waste? I ask you that respectfully. Going to
Uh,
those schools,
nah, it wasn't a waste. Like I say, it's part of my story. It wasn't a waste. I won't say it was a waste. It could have been better, but like I say, I mean that's part of Rich Prince story, you know.
and okay. Now, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about the closet scenario.
Right.
Now you mentioned fast forwarding.
Right.
You
Right.
use
Right.
different equipment. I can't remember the word you said exactly, but you said at this point you recorded something that might be too much space.
Right.
Again, I can't remember exactly what you said, but something of that nature.
Right. Right. Right.
This place that you record that's too much space, is this a home studio as well, or is this a professional
Nah,
commercial
it's a
studio?
professional commercial spot. It's a well-known commercial spot out where I'm from.
Care to share the name?
Um, it's a private studio, actually. So right now, it's just jumped up and running. I don't think he got a name right now. It just dropped probably like 2 weeks ago.
And this studio that you're in, do they
Yeah.
have multiple rooms, like an A room, B room, C
Oh
room
yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing?
It got multiple rooms. It got 3 rooms, A, B, and C.
What have you been recording in?
I've been recording in the A room and the B room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which brings me to this next question.
Right.
Do you like that? Do you like being in that A room? Starting from that closet, do you like being in that bigger space, that equipment, that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, it's it has changed honestly for the last 2 weeks now because the studio I'm in now, the engineer that I work with, we sit right next to each other. The room is so packed where like it's no booth. Like I'm sitting right next to him. I'm watching him work on the computer. I got the mic in front of me. It's just a big room and it's just a big space, but it's well packed. It's well put together, and I love how I record now with him because I mean like I'm learning at the same time as he engineer, and it's like we right there. Like so he tuned in with me as I'm tuned in with him.
And what type of equipment are you using at
Um,
this point?
I'm recording off a U87 mic, Apollo Pro Tools. Um, I don't want to tell you guys the engineer, man, but definitely a go. Definitely a go-to. Um, yeah, all the up-to-date stuff.
Why not share the engineer? I respect it, but just why?
I mean, you gotta be secretive with the recipe. That's how I see it. You gotta be secretive with the recipe.
Nope.
And to others, he might not be the recipe, but for right now, and like for me, he is a recipe. So
Now, I ask you these questions because
right,
I want to culminate to this. There may be somebody watching this interview
okay,
that's researching this stuff.
right,
They're researching different studios,
right,
the home studio,
right,
the big A-room studio with the top-notch equipment. And they're wondering, can I get the A-room sound, the A-room feel with a small closet home experience,
yeah,
for example?
you definitely can get that A room, B room, or C room sound with a closet experience, because it's all about the quality. Like it's all about the equipment you're using and how well that is put together, how well it's patent, how well that the engineer like record you and mix and master you. Like so all that plays a part in the sound that you're looking for. So that's why I say like that's the recipe. Like, you know, you gotta be secretive. When you find your sound, you know your sound, like just stick with it and like just like reach for the stars because like it's only gonna get better, it ain't gonna get worse.
Some people may feel like, okay, they have access to an A-room,
Right,
but maybe they need to go to that closet experience for a certain feel,
right,
for a certain,
right.
I don't know what the word is to describe it, but
Escape.
maybe they feel like the A-room's too luxurious
Right,
or
right.
too, if you get my
Nah, I
drift.
feel like I understand. I feel like that sometimes, and sometimes that's when I tap in and I isolate. I go like to a dark space, to a dark space or a dark room or any area where it's just isolating me and myself and I just record on the phone or record like just try to record. I mean, it's not all about like the sound or whatnot because like I just say the engineer or whoever you taking your sound to, they always could like fix it up for you. It's all about the quality of what you're using.
There's also some people that are wondering, do I need an engineer? Could I just
Mm.
engineer myself? What do you say to that?
Uh, that's a double whammy question because some people do need an engineer like myself. I mean, I feel like I can engineer myself, but it won't be as polished because I can't focus on me being the artist. I'm tapping in on being the engineer now. So I mean, you could do it, but it's just about how much you want to put into being an engineer and taking away from being an artist. You know?
Now, when it comes to finding an engineer,
Right.
what are the characteristics of a good engineer, a great engineer? I don't know how you want to say it, but what are those characteristics?
First, I say one that listen, like an engineer that listen to your sound, listen to what you chasing, what you going after, and help you get there. Like not one that's like just shaking their head. Yep. Sound good. You don't want none of that. You want one that's gonna be a rebel, tell you what it is and what it ain't, if you like it or not. Like I say, definitely look for that. That's one. Two, always look for quality. Like if the quality not good, I mean like nine times out of 10, you're gonna have to spend more dollars to go back to another studio to do the same thing. So that's number two. Not knocking the engineer or nothing, but I mean, who want to do the same thing 3 times? And number three, I just say somebody just patient with you. You know, like want to build and work with you. Want to like help you with your sound, help you on your artistry, help you get there. Cause if an engineer believe in you, then I mean, the sky's the limit.
Now, I asked you what were those characteristics of a good/great engineer, but what are some no-nos for an engineer working with an artist like yourself? What are some things you can't stand an engineer doing? What are some turnoffs for you as an artist dealing with an engineer, that sort of thing?
Man, I can't stand me an engineer while I'm banging on the window or I'm just trying to get his attention. Like, a unfocused engineer, that's a big no-no. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want somebody else's time, man. Time is money, so we ain't here to be wasting no money, and we ain't here to be wasting no time. So that's definitely a big no-no for me.
Anything else or just that?
Uh, and a yes man, like if it don't sound good and I'm actually for your opinion, give me a honest opinion. Like, don't tell me yeah because you know what I'm saying, you just trying to collect a check. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is nigga passion. Like this, like, so I say that.
The engineer that you're currently using, is this the best engineer you've ever had at
Oh
this
yeah,
point?
I mean for my career, yeah, definitely. This is my go-to guy.
How long have you had a chance to work with him?
We've been working together about 2 years now.
How many engineers do you think you went through before you found this one?
About
Rough estimate.
rough estimate,
Yeah.
about 100.
Seriously?
Seriously. About 100 engineers. Yeah.
Were there some that were close to the caliber of the person you're working now throughout those 100?
It was one.
Or is this guy blowing everybody
It
away?
was one. It was one. It was one. And he wasn't even like championship close. He was like first rounds. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, seven. It was just one.
Out of dealing with all those engineers in the past, was this the longest you've had a relationship with an engineer for at this point?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And like I say, like he's my go-to, and he engineered my album, my last album, and the next to come.
Does he engineer for you exclusively or does he work with others?
Nah, he engineered for me exclusively and worked for others. I mean, he worked for others outside of the states and the state, big artists, local artists.
What happens in the scenario when you really need him for something, but he may be with somebody else?
That was just a situation. He was on tour. I really needed him to record, and he was busy. So, I mean, um, in that situation, I went to go record. But like I said, I found myself recording over again, recording the same songs over again with him because, I mean, he know my sound. So, but I would say, like, I definitely gotta do some more engineering finding, like, because I gotta have like a whole team of like not one guy, like several guys to go to.
Like maybe a backup or...
Yeah, definitely a backup or two, maybe 2 or 3 backups. You know.
Was that something you've done in the past or is that just something you're moving forward with in the future?
Nah, something I'm moving forward with in the future, definitely.
While we're on the subject of engineers, anything else about engineers while we're at it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a shout out, man. Shouts out to my engineer Maroon, man. You already know.
How'd you two meet?
How we met?
Do you remember the first time you met him?
How we met? I don't remember. We been rocking so much. I don't remember, man.
Out of all these engineers you've worked with, have they all been men or ever worked with a female engineer?
I never worked with a female engineer. That's interesting. I love to work with one. So if any out there, know what I'm saying, come away, man. I am Rich Prince. Hit me up. I definitely love to work with one.
Never even came across a female engineer?
Never came across a female engineer. Never.
And, okay, a few more questions that we're going to wrap up on your experience in the studio. That very first time you were in that closet studio and you recorded your first song, do you remember the name of it?
I was in the group.
Okay.
I don't remember the name.
Back then, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
Okay. Back then, your first time in that closet studio.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous. I was always into like most popular, more sports. So people was never a problem. Like me in the studio was never a problem. Me letting people hear it and then them not liking it wasn't a problem. So I mean, I wasn't nervous. That was never an issue for me.
Intimidated your very first time?
Intimidated? Nope. Nope. I wasn't intimidated either.
Now, why didn't this group work out?
Um,
What happened?
we all just got older and parted our separate ways. You know, life, kids. Some got arrested and like just life. That's all. Nothing bad to say about nobody in the group, but just life. That's it.
Did you initiate the exit? Were you the first person to leave?
I was. I was. I was the first person to leave, and I was the guy that made the group. Yeah.
For you, what was your reason to leave at that time?
Back then,
Personally.
Personally, it was I just had to focus more on me. You know, I just had to figure out the goal, the the vision, and just put it all together and chase it, go after it. And I knew that with a group at that point, I mean, it was just too much to carry. So I just had to just level it all up and just focus on me. That's all.
Even though you were the first to leave, was the plan for the group to keep going without you?
I mean, when I left, that wasn't. I ain't have no say so then. Like if they did, they did. They didn't, they didn't. You know. But I was gonna still support them. You know.
So, safe to say you left on good terms or no terms when you made the exit?
I left on good terms. I try to always leave on a good term. Like I don't want to be no problem maker out here or nobody having beef with. You know what I'm saying? Good terms are always a go-to for me.
Any regrets or right decision looking back at how things played out, leaving that group?
Nah, no regrets. I don't regret nothing. None at all.
Why
No.
not? Some people do.
I mean, like I say, life ain't always gonna be good, you know. Life got bad with it, so you just gotta learn how to just keep it moving, you know. Learn from that. That's it.
What did you learn from that experience being in a group? What did that teach you?
I can't save everybody. I can't save the world. And if I did or if I wanted to, I gotta save myself first. So that's the that's something that I definitely had triggered me. Like it triggered fast, quick in a hurry. So that's why I made the decision I did fast, quick in a hurry.
How long were you in that group for?
Oh, that group was about what, a year and a half, 2 years.
Was that the only group you were ever a part of in your music career?
Um,
Were you a solo artist for the rest of your music career after that point?
Now I was in the group twice. So it was one time with 4 artists, and it was another time with me and another artist.
So a duo
A duo.
at that point,
Yep.
to be a little more specific.
Yeah, a duo.
So for you, just because we've been building a little chronological history, group of 4,
Group of 4.
then solo, and then the duo, or straight to the duo and then solo?
Group of 4. Solo. Duo. Non-solo.
Finishing up my questions with the group, care to share the name of the group back then?
The first group, it was called D2R. The second group, it was called Team Image. Yeah.
Now, what happened with that duo situation?
Main man just had another vision. He wanted to go be a cook, and I respected that. So, you know what I'm saying? I let him go do his thing without trying to make him do the music thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just respected his wishes and stood behind what he wanted to do. But it definitely didn't take away from what I wanted to do.
So he initiates the exit out of the duo.
Right, right.
And left on good terms, no terms?
Left on good terms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any regrets or right decision looking back at that particular situation there?
Nah, no regrets. No regrets. And even if it was a bad situation, I still don't regret it, you know, because I learned something from it.
Now, speaking of learn, with the duo scenario, What did you actually learn from that experience? What did that teach you?
Um,
And if it was the same as the first group experience, then that's the answer. But if it's something else, then yeah, please provide that.
well, it was definitely the same. It was the same. I made a mistake twice. You know, trying to like put others on, do more than what I can do for myself. But other than that, secondly, I'll say nobody will know like your passion or your hunger. Like nobody will know how much you want it. So and for me to say that, like I didn't think that it just was matching. Like it wasn't aligning. You know what I'm saying? So and you can't force it. You can't force nobody to be where you at. You just gotta respect it. Like you respect their wishes and keep it moving. That's all.
I know the first group of 4,
Yeah.
you put it together. What about the duo?
Yeah, I put that one together too. Yeah.
My final question with the group scenarios,
Yeah.
okay? There's somebody watching this right now that might be thinking about joining a group, whether
Right.
it's a duo 3 or 4, and there's some people that might be thinking of exiting.
Right.
What do you say to somebody thinking about joining a group? What do you think about somebody thinking about exiting? And of course, circumstances could be different for everybody, but any words, generally speaking, here on either scenario?
Um, if you thinking about joining the group, definitely make sure the person you join in is y'all align on the same page. Because if you're not, you're gonna bump heads. It's gonna get sticky. It's gonna be a problem. You don't need a problem. And if you're definitely thinking about exiting the group, think about exiting the right way. Don't leave on bad terms. Don't leave with a problem because you don't want nobody thinking that you a hater. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't need no haters. You thinking you a hater out here. You know what I mean? So definitely just try to be smooth and just exit whatever you got to exit on good terms.
Anything else in regards to a group?
Nah, that's it really.
I've got an additional final question,
Talk to me.
okay? What are the pros and the cons? Being in a group versus solo?
Um, being in the group pro is that person match your hustle, then it's a double muscle. You know what I mean? If he match your hustle, like sky's the limit. Um, and if you solo, you ain't really gotta like babysit nobody. You ain't really gotta worry or wait or just it's like you are the artist and you only got to care about self. You only got to care about your craft and your choices and your decisions, and it becomes like cool selling a little bit. You know what I mean? That's like a way to go to if it works for you.
Anything else?
Nah, that's it.